All right, from here starts the speaking test. This is the speaking mock test of the International English Language Testing System taking place in Ross IELTS Academy. The candidate is Mehdi. The candidate number is 0141327. The examiner is Joseph. Examiner number 443533. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Joseph. Would you please tell me your full name?
Sure. My name is Mehdi Farahman Rod, but you can call me Mehdi.
All right. Can I see your identification, please?
Definitely. Here you are.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
Of course, let's move on to part one. In part one, I ask you some personal questions. First, let's talk about your daily routine.
Okay.
What do you usually do in the morning?
Well, what do I do in the morning? Well, I actually wake up at sometime around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. I start my day by drinking a glass of water and meditating for about 10-15 minutes. Then I go for a jog in a nearby park and do a little bit of workouts, which really energizes me.
All right. Do you prefer to plan your day or go with the flow?
Well, it's a mixture of both, actually. I generally prefer to plan my day because that helps me stay organized. I find that having a structured schedule allows me to use my time effectively. At the same time, I also appreciate having some, going with the flow, because I believe daily chores can happen.
Thank you. Is your daily routine different on weekends?
Is my daily routine different? Well, it is different, yes. During the weekdays, I try to focus on my work and try to, spend time with my journalistic work as I'm a journalist. But on weekends, I try to slip in a bit and try to spend time outdoors with the family, engage in hobbies and everything.
Now let's move on to talk about social media.
Sure.
How often do you use social media?
Well, I use social media daily, I can say. About like a few hours in the morning and a few hours in the afternoon. Uh, it actually helps me stay connected with family and friends, and as well as it keeps me up with news and trends and everything.
Do you think social media is a waste of time?
Well, social media. Well, it can be a waste of time if used excessively, But the thing with social media is that if used if it is used mindfully, it can be it actually allows for the sharing of information and ideas.
What are the advantages of using social media?
Well, like everything else, there are bright side to it and the dark side to it. But the advantages of social media is that you can actually stay connected with family and friends. Try to keep up with the news and trends and everything, and that's it.
Now let's move on to talk about reading books.
Mm-hmm.
Do you enjoy reading books?
Well, I find a great joy in reading books. I feel that it's a wonderful way to escape realities in life and immerse myself into different cultures, ideas, and worlds and everything.
What kinds of books do you like to read?
Well, I have a diverse taste I have a diverse taste in literature. But I particularly enjoy fiction, especially literary fiction and historical novels, I can say. I find that these genres often offer profound insight into human values and society.
All right. Do you prefer physical books or ebooks, and why?
I prefer physical books for several reasons. Firstly, there's something irreplaceable about the tactile experience of holding a book, like turning the pages, even the smell of it. Yes.
That's it for part one. Let's move on to part two.
Sure.
I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. And you can make notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Sure. Of course.
Of course, you can take some paper for taking notes.
Yes, thank you.
And here's a pen.
Yes.
And here's your topic. I'd like you to describe a time when you helped someone in need.
Yes.
All right, your 1 minute time is over and you can start speaking right now.
Sure. Well, one time when I actually helped someone in need was through a charity group I volunteered with. The name of the group was Helping Hands. Uh, the person I assisted was a homeless man, and his name was John, actually, who was struggling to find stable housing and employment. This situation arose during a community outreach event organized by the charity group. Where we actually provided food, clothing, and resources to those in need. John approached our booth looking quite lost and disheartened. He actually shared his story about how he had fallen hard times after losing his job and how difficult it was for him to get uh, back on his feet. Uh, I took the initiative to sit down with him and listen to his concerns. I also, at the same time, I helped him fill out forms for local shelters and job replacement services. Uh, After that, I actually provided him with a care package that included food, hygiene products, and information available in the area. Uh, After that, I felt a deep sense of fulfillment and gratitude.
Perfect. And did you investigate his feeling? Of course, you said that you felt a sense of accomplishment, but
Yes.
what about John? Did he feel like he was satisfied by your help?
Well, John was quite happy about this. He was actually feeling he was relieved after having a lot of time facing difficulties and predicaments in life. So he was relieved, and he was thinking that a new chapter in life is actually opening for him.
And do you think that people should be grateful of others' help?
Uh, well, yes, that actually it creates a huge sense of fulfillment inside you, and
Encourages you to go
exactly.
ahead and go on with more such acts of kindness. Thank you so much. That's the end of part two. Let's, of course, please hand me back the piece of paper and the cue card as well as the pen. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the third and the final part. We've been talking about a time when you help someone in need. Now, I'd like to ask you some questions related to this.
Yes.
Why do people help each other?
Why do people help each other? Well, people help each other out of empathy and compassion. Many feel a moral obligation to actually assist those in need, as it strengthens community bonds and fosters a sense of belonging, I think.
And do you think people nowadays are less willing to help others compared to the past?
Well, less willing. Well, I can say I don't think people are less willing to help today. While modern life can be fast-paced, well, many actively engage in charitable activities. And often using social media to mobilize support for various causes, I think.
All right. And should schools teach students the importance of helping others?
The importance of helping others in the schools. Well, yes, schools should actually teach the importance of helping others. Instilling values of empathy and social responsibility helps shape actually compassionate individuals, and creates a more caring society, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And in your opinion, do people help others for selfish reasons sometimes?
Well, selfish reasons. Well, yes. Sometimes people help others for selfish reasons, like wanting to, feel good or improve their reputation. However, the positive impact of their actions is, what really matters most of all.
Mm-hmm. And how do governments and organizations encourage people to help others?
Governments and organizations. Well, governments and organizations can encourage helping others through, awareness campaigns, providing, something like, I don't know, incentives like tax deductions for donations, and creating volunteer opportunities that, make it easy for people to get involved in these actions.
Thank you very much. This is the end of the speaking test. Now you can relax and please give me a couple of minutes to
Of
review
course.
how you did,
Sure.
and I'll get back to you with the feedback and your overall band score.
Do you want to know what band score you'll get in the IELTS speaking test? Perhaps you want to improve your performance and prepare yourself for the real test? Then why not book an online mock test with us that will last for 25 minutes? 12 minutes of the test itself and 13 minutes of comprehensive feedback, plus we'll give you useful tips on how to make your performance better. So, we know how to help you. Join us.
Okay, that was a lot of talking. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you very much. I really appreciate that you give me this feedback, because I know this will help me. This is exactly what I need.
Although my job is hard, I enjoy doing it.
Because you have already practiced the last time I'm going to on the exam day, you should make sure, okay, this is the last time I'm going to talk about
IELTS Academy for our generation.
Find out movie and talk about what's in a movie and film. So, we were talking about synonyms for film.
Welcome back.
Sure.
I did review your performance, and honestly, congratulations.
Sure. Thank
You were spot on. You were wonderful in how you handled different answers correctly and beautifully. Of course, as you know, there are 4 band descriptors for the IELTS speaking test: fluency and coherence, lexical resource or vocabulary, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. So let's start with fluency and coherence. You were both fluent and coherent. You were able to speak at length uh, about both familiar and unfamiliar topics. You were able to express your thoughts clearly, with clarity, and of course, you were able to express your opinions about any given topic effortlessly without the need to put any effort. Of course, your responses were natural. The way you developed different topics was amazing. You gave and provided the answer. Then, if you had time, you elaborated on the answer. And that allowed me to understand you clearly and understand your thoughts clearly. So there were some minor hesitations in your responses, but as long as those hesitations and even self repetition and self correction, there were few instances, but as long as they do not damage your overall response, and as we say, as long as they do not impede communication, it's completely and absolutely okay.
Yes.
Of course, so as I said, your responses were natural. You did use some fillers and boosters, or what we call filler words. There were some instances of non-words and filler words, but they did not damage your overall message. So, all in all, your fluency and coherence was perfect. The lexical resource was also amazing. You did use a wide range of vocabulary. Your word choice was spot on and wonderful. You provided answers, and you did use some words and vocabulary to describe any situation and circumstance based on the given question. You did use some idiomatic expressions. All of your words were relevant and to the point. You did use relevant terminology. Discourse markers were spot on. You did use some collocations. So the collocations, the way you use different words and combine different words to each other based on the context was really wonderful. You said, for example, stay organized. You say uh, mindfully, and you did say immerse themselves in reading books. You did say diverse taste and different genres when referring to your interest in some certain books. So yeah, so you were also amazing, and you did a very great job in the lexical resource. Moving on to grammatical range and accuracy, I did not spot any issues with that. You were error free. You were able to use simple structures and complex structures at the same time. The verb tense and the verb subject agreement was spot on. You did use some subordinate clauses and conditional clauses beautifully. So you were error free. You were able to talk about different time frames, about the past, the future, and simple and present tense, of course, uh, with a great command of grammar. The final part is pronunciation. You were, again, wonderful. You did a very great job. You were easily understandable. The articulation of the words was great. You did pay attention to stress patterns. You did uh, regard those patterns and stress patterns based on any given context. You had that stress on different sentences and different words. The ups and downs, and or what we call the intonation was perfect. So all in all, today, congratulations.